Sphinx push-ups. That's what we'll be talking about in this video. Specifically, two different variations. The first is stationary Sphinx push-ups, which are basically bodyweight tricep extensions. And the second variation is sliding Sphinx push-ups, where your body is sliding back and forth. And this is a lead up to shuttle push-ups. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. And for those of you who are new to the channel, my name's Ryan and this is Minus the Gym, where I show you guys everything I've learned about bodyweight fitness and eating a truly healthy diet. So if that sounds up your alley, don't forget that subscribe button is always right down below. First, I want to show you guys the two progressive exercises I've personally used to learn Sphinx push-ups. All right, and these help me build up the strength, not just in my triceps, but in other internal rotators, as well as in my core to do this type of push-up. But then after I show you the progressions, I'm going to show you proper form and execution. All right, so the first progression that I recommend using, and this is what I used, is bodyweight tricep extensions. And you can do these on elevated surfaces specifically. That's what really makes it helpful. So for example, right here in my basement, I would go up to this ledge that's about chest height. It's really right up to the bottom of my chest. And I'd put my hands on that surface, get my body nice and rigid and straight, and then I'd perform these tricep extensions by letting my face lower down towards the wall. Basically, you want to lower down so your forearms are perpendicular to the surface that you're holding onto, and then press back up into the fully extended position. This is really going to work the triceps, but it's also going to challenge a lot of your core because you're having to really get that total body tension going to hold yourself against gravity. It's also great for the lats, the serratus, shoulders, a whole bunch of different muscles, the internal rotators. So it's an overall great exercise, but really great for building up strength for Sphinx push-ups. Okay. Now, once you can do 8 or more reps on an elevated surface that's about chest height, then I recommend finding a lower surface about waist height. For example, something stable like a countertop or a tabletop, or maybe like the back of a couch would be the ideal height. And then on that lower surface, doing these bodyweight tricep extensions there as well. Now, the lower surface means a smaller angle between your body and the floor, so that's going to make it more challenging. There's more resistance. So again, with that smaller angle, build up to 8 or more reps on the bodyweight tricep extensions to build even more strength, and then move on to the next progression, which is going to be negatives. All right, so Sphinx push-up negatives are basically just getting into the top position and then letting yourself slowly lower down. I recommend about somewhere around 3 to 5 seconds for each negative or eccentric rep is the ideal time range that you want to be in. And one thing, this is a form cue that's really important for Sphinx push-ups that you want to pay attention to, is that you're not going to be placing your hands on the floor directly in front of your face or like right below your shoulders. You want to make sure that your hands are not at eye level, meaning you're not placing your hands on the floor directly beneath your eyes or your shoulders. You actually want them to be in front of your head. So you're sort of in this extended plank position. But that's going to allow you with ease to lower your elbows and forearms down to the floor. All right, so if you're having trouble with that, if you feel like it's just impossible to drop your elbows to the floor because your body wants to move backwards, it means for this variation, for the static variation of Sphinx push-ups, you need to be in that extended plank position with your hands in front of your head. Build up those negatives to 8 reps or more. All right, that's the top of the strength building range. And then you should be ready for legit Sphinx push-ups, where you're basically going to do a negative, but then follow it up with the concentric phase of the movement as well and press back up to the starting position. And once you're able to do that, congrats, now you're doing Sphinx push-ups. But again, this is just one variation. This is the what I call static or stationary variation, where your body's not moving. There is a sliding variation that I want to show you as well. But in order to do that, you need to be on a slippery surface. I like to wear socks sometimes when I work out, and I work out on hardwood floors. So when my socks are on hardwood floors, or maybe you use core gliders, right? I don't know if you have any of those, but they're these things that allow you to slide on carpeting or other surfaces. If you use something like that, then you can perform these and let your body slide backwards and then back to the beginning position or to the starting position, you slide forwards again. when you do the sliding variation of Sphinx push-ups, you want to start with your hands at eye level. All right, so you want your hands on the floor directly in front of your vision, your line of sight. And that's going to allow you to really push back so you can slide backwards quite easily. Now, the hardest part of this variation is getting from the bottom back up to the top position. And what I have found is really helpful is changing your foot positioning actually from plantar flexion to dorsiflexion. So what that means is kind of like you're standing on your tiptoes, that's plantar flexion, and then standing on your heels would be dorsiflexion. So you're going to switch your feet between those two positions, and that's going to help sort of push you up back to the starting position. It's going to give you some momentum to slide back up. As you practice, you'll gain the strength and not even need to press off like that. But when you're learning, pressing off with the feet is a really good way to slide back to the top position. So just remember those two progressive exercises that you need, and that's bodyweight triceps extensions on a high surface and then a lower surface. I recommend about chest height and then waist height. And once you can do both of those for at least 8 reps, start working on your negatives for the static or stationary Sphinx push-ups. And then once you get Sphinx push-ups, try working on the sliding variation too, because it's a lot of fun and it's a good lead up to shuttle push-ups, which I'll make a tutorial on a little later. As always, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I hope the video was helpful to you. If it was, hit that like button and support me. That really helps me out and I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and I will see you next week in the next video. Talk to you then.
I know you could do it. All you gotta do is put your mind to it. Wake up, I'm on to the next. New day, I gotta do my best. Every day I put the work in. The grind never stop, you ain't never see me rest.